Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Tiny Desk Contest Top Shelf. I'm your host, Bob Boilen, creator of the Tiny Desk Concert Series and the Tiny Desk Concert Series as well. Before we get started, I wanted to take a moment and thank our sponsor, State Farm, for supporting the Tiny Desk Contest and Top Shelf Series. You know, State Farm believes in supporting communities and musicians nationwide. After all, music has the power to unite us all, whether it's in person or online. State Farm would like to thank the amazing artists of the Tiny Desk Contest and all of the good neighbors out there who are tuning in at home. Your creativity and action gives us hope and happiness. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. So hang on one second. I wanted to tell you a little bit about the Tiny Desk Contest. And the Tiny Desk Contest has been going on now for 6 years. And we got over 6,000 entries this year, and which is really quite remarkable. So we love what's happened to our artists, to our winners. The artists have gone on to do such amazing things. They've traveled the world and toured, record label contracts, Grammy Awards. It's really quite a remarkable feat. I've just had a small computer issue I'm just trying to fix while I'm talking to you. I'm really thrilled that Rita Houston is here with us today. And so let's bring on Rita. Hey there, WFUV's Rita Houston. Welcome. And if I don't hear Rita, is that because she's muted?
You know, Bob, it's funny. We talked about unmute yourself before you speak. It seems like a relatively simple concept.
It's the concept.
Yet it still foiled me.
Yes, indeed. For those who don't know Rita Houston, she's director of WFUV in New York and creator and host of this great show, The Whole Wide World, with Rita Houston, which airs Friday nights, 6 to 9 Eastern time. But you know, it's everywhere, right?
Yeah, it's archived and available on demand. And the spirit of Tiny Desk concerts and the spirit of the Tiny Desk Contest Top Shelf is very much what we do at WFUV. It's that spirit of music discovery. It's that spirit of when are you going to find your next new favorite band? Right. And there's something about what you've done with Tiny Desk Concerts over the last 6 years and the Tiny Desk Contest, you know, this year, getting to over 6,000 entries. But then this pandemic happened and a pivot wasn't necessary. So it's so great, this top shelf concept. That
normally we'd be on tour. In fact, one of the reasons we asked you is because every year we come to New York City, we pick a bunch of New York bands. You help us pick those bands from the amazing amount of entries we get. And we do a concert live somewhere great. And we're going to miss that this year. But you're here to help.
There's no concerts. I mean, it's like whoever imagined a universe wherein there would be no live music. There's live music, but no live music of us people gathered in a room. But I think this top shelf concept is really fantastic.
Yeah, usually you and I would be right about now heading up to Newport.
Indeed, and putting on our white jeans and headed to Newport. And of course, Newport's not happening this year. Of course, we will get by, we will survive, and this too will pass. But I'm really, really delighted to be here with you today, Bob, for Top Shelf, because you know, as somebody who enjoys a cocktail now and again, you know, you got your well drinks in the bar, you got the like middle shelf, you know, and then you've got the top shelf. And that's where we're playing with this. And it's been a really great concept, I think.
So why don't we start with our first song? Folks in the chat room, please chime in. Let us know what you think of these songs. We want to know, and we want to know where you're from. We want to know a little about your taste in music and what appeals to you on these picks that we play for you. For the Tiny Desk, because all of this is leading up to us announcing a winner for the Tiny Desk Contest, and that is coming very, very soon.
I can't wait. When is that happening? When does that announcement come?
Very soon, the top of August.
Oh, fantastic!
Indeed. So, Laveda is the first artist you picked. It's a duo. Why don't you tell us a bit about Laveda?
Well, as a girl who's a big fan of 90s music, particularly bands like the Sundays, I was immediately struck by Laveda's sound. those chiming, shimmering 90s guitars just pulled me right in. Laveda's from upstate New York, but they were traveling, the duo, back and forth from upstate to Brooklyn, where they recorded their debut. And this particular song, Dream Sleep, is on their debut album. Like many of us, everything changed for this band when the pandemic struck with COVID-19. They thought they were going to South by Southwest. Like many of
Didn't
us
we
thought,
all?
we were headed to South by. And this song came out of that. So it's kind of interesting too, Bob. And I think we'll be hearing a lot of music that is born out of these difficult times, it's unprecedented times of the quarantine and the pandemic. And this song was, like you hear songwriters often talk, also came in a dream to Allie, the lead singer of the band. It's Allie and Jake, that's the duo of the band. Anyway, I just love their sound. The song is called Dream Sleep.
Let's play it. Thank you. I really love that song. That
I
was really good.
mean,
That's Laveda, Dream
does,
Sleep.
doesn't it sound like something that could be on the radio right
I
now?
I'd be happy to hear that. Yeah, and then but then the synths people for that song, it reminded them of 80s synth pop, and then you refer to it as sort of more of a 90s sound. They have a little of a lot in there.
Yeah, I love the I love the dreaminess of the lyrics and the dreaminess of their overall sound. I think that's a big part of the appeal. Laveda is the band.
And you have Rita Houston. You've been a judge in the past. You're Tank and the Bangas, and what is it that you look for when you watch the multitude of videos that we watch to pick our
Yeah.
winner?
I mean, I watched, probably about 300, this year. Um, what do it's interesting. It's an interesting question, Bob, because, working at WFUV, it's a sound. We play things on the radio. Tiny Desk, the video also matters. The visuals matter. Your visual presentation matters.
Mm-hmm.
Ultimately, I think for bands, your visual presentation does matter in the world we live in today. When it comes to programming a radio station, that's not as high up on the list. But with Tiny Desk, the visuals are definitely important. But, I'm a singer girl, I mean, if I gave you a little tour of my house, you'd see there's, Frank Sinatra photos everywhere. I love a good singer. I love a great singer. I have a hard time with the non-singing that occasionally pops up in the indie rock world sometimes,
Right.
or the anti-singing, I love a great vocal. So what do I look for? Great vocals. And I think the five artists that we'll be talking about today, that's definitely a consistent thread. And the Berklee School of Music is another thread. So we got a bunch of legit players on our show today as well.
That's awesome. Well, let's get to Charles Turner and Uptown Swing, which is your next pick. I think it's sort of obvious what grabbed you here, but let's just for a moment talk about what we're about to see and hear.
Well, again, I mean, talk about a vocalist. Charles Turner's got that, you think of Ella Fitzgerald, when there's personality, you think of Diana Ross, when there's personality in vocals that you can feel, that charm, whether it's an ache or whether it's joy, when it's expressed in vocals. And Charles Turner has that to spare in his vocals. A fantastic band. It was a great video. We'll see the video, and I'll let you guys watch it before I talk about that part of it. And as a lifelong New Yorker, who's not loving a song called Harlem, Harlem, Harlem?
Well, let's watch that. And then when we're out of that, we'll get to talk with Charles Turner about this amazing band and how this song came to be. Let's watch Harlem, Harlem, Harlem by Charles Turner and Uptown Swing.
Take me to Harlem, where everybody knows your name. The feeling always is the same. The people shout, hey! And they proclaim. Take me uptown, where everybody's feeling fine. The streets are lively all the time, whether winter or in summer's prime. It's that kind of spirit we call and maintain, that it's Harlem, Harlem, Harlem. It can't be renamed, and it will remain. Sugar Hill to Riverside Drive, Malcolm X down to Harlem River Drive. All our dues and history rooted deep inside. Take me uptown. Sunday morning, everybody's in their prime. After church, we smile and laugh and then we dine. And we'll dance and even have a glass of wine. It's that kind of spirit we call and maintain. It's Harlem, Harlem, Harlem. Can't be renamed, and it will remain. Take me to Harlem, where the echoes of the Duke and Basie ride. Jazz and blues and rhythm hit you every time. From your shoes and then it goes right up your spine. echoes of the Duke and Dixie ride. Jazz, blues, and rhythm hits you every time. From your shoes and then it goes right up your spine. Take me uptown as we walk along the roads of lace and shoes. I lives and ways of making better views. Past, present, future, rooted in the blues. It's that kind of spirit. All in the day. Harlem, Harlem, Harlem. Can't be renamed. And it will remain. And it will remain. And it will remain. And it will remain. Yeah. And it will remain. Say. It will remain. And it will remain. Take me to Harlem.
Rita, there are some forms of music that are simply undeniable. I don't care who you are. You just and Charles Turner really taps into that, right?
I mean, let's go Uptown. That is fantastic. Just an undeniable song with an undeniable a sentiment. It can't be renamed, and it will remain. Harlem, Harlem, Harlem. Charles Turner and Uptown Swing.
Let's bring in Charles Turner, who's here, and talk about this terrific band. Yeah.
Hello.
Hi.
Hello, Rita. Hey, Bob. How you guys doing?
Great to have you.
Happy to be here.
Nice to meet you. Lifelong New Yorker, Charles?
I'm actually from Los Angeles, California. But
we never would have guessed.
No. I've been here for about 10 years now, though. So I consider myself a New Yorker now.
Indeed.
You've sure got
yes.
So many of the entries that came to the Tiny Desk were done right around quarantine time. So you get these videos that are a group crammed in a small place like you guys, and then others that are more styled like a Zoom video. When did you do this, and where are you?
We did this in Harlem on the day before we were locked down for quarantine. Wow. Literally, I knew we had about 24 hours. So I reached out to a videographer, a friend of mine, and we all came together the night before we had to lock down to record this for the contest. Yeah.
And whose apartment is that?
It's Noah Jackson, the bass player in the band. That's his apartment. He had a drum set there as well. So we hurried over there and did that at his apartment in Harlem.
You've been playing around New York City quite a bit. You play in all the big jazz rooms. Is that your typical band? Is that your typical setup?
Yes, that's the setup that I perform with. And we perform all over the place. Minton's Playhouse in Harlem, Jenny's Supper Club in Harlem. We do a lot of things with Jazz at Lincoln Center. We've done residencies there, doing their late night session for about a year now, once a month. So yeah, we've been really cooking and moving forward with the band. It's been wonderful.
I'm kind of curious what kind of audience comes to that. Like, is it young, old, and what's the mix like? Well, really, this feels like such appealing music to anyone.
We have such a tapestry of different groups of people from different ages and all around the world in the United States. During the late night session at Jazz at Lincoln Center that happens once a month, it's a dance party, and they have a lot of college kids from Juilliard that come from Manhattan School of Music, as well as jazz patrons that want to enjoy. So some people sit on the side, and then the young kids come to the dance floor and they dance and dance and dance all night. So it really, we try to create music that's for everyone to enjoy.
Definitely kicks up images of like the old Savoy Ballroom in the 1920s and stuff, 20s and 30s.
Definitely.
It's amazing to think of. Oh, sorry.
No. Yeah, the band was actually also conceived because we do a lot of swing dance events around the world. And so in that case, people are swing dancing just like they were doing the Lindy Hop during the time of the Savoy Ballroom. So we're definitely bringing that energy and that vibe to today.
Charles, you're a Berkeley grad. You're also an educator. The history of jazz must be very important to you. How important do you feel that it is that the history of jazz continues to be taught, maintained, preserved, if you will? How important is that to you?
I think that it's incredibly important for jazz to remain on the forefront when it comes to education of Black American music as a whole. And so I find that for me, I consider myself to be a soul singer. I like to sing the music of the souls of the people that came before me, and that would be R&B, gospel, blues, and jazz. And so I think sometimes that's a proponent that's missed or kind of overlooked. And I think why I bring this band and what I do, everything that I do, is to bring jazz to the forefront and to make it accessible for people so that they can become more curious about it and learn more about their history. And like I said in the song, past, present, and future. So it's very, very important to keep the legacy of jazz alive and well in our country and in the world.
Yeah.
And this band's been together for how long? Someone in the audience wanted to know.
We've been together for about a year and a half. I played with all of them separately in different occasions. And when I wanted to put together the band, I knew the specific people that I wanted. And I'm just so, in fact, if I can do a quick shout out to them really quickly and just let you know the musicians. On the alto saxophone, you guys heard an incredible solo, Christopher McBride from Chicago. Yes, Jeffrey Miller on trombone from New Orleans. Clap, clap. Noah Jackson on bass from Detroit. We have Kevin Congleton on the drums from Oregon. And we have Sean Mason, incredible pianist from North Carolina. We all live in New York City, but really wonderful musicians. So blessed to be able to make music with them.
And how do people find your music then, if now that they're turned on to it?
Yeah, you can find Harlem on iTunes and any other provider, Charles Turner Uptown Swing. My website is charlesturnermusic.com. And on Instagram, you can follow me at charlesturner_.
Fantastic.
Great. I was definitely getting some New Orleans vibes off the trombone player, so I wasn't too far. Just one more question before we turn you loose, Charles.
Yes.
How would you describe the local music scene in New York City these days from your point of view? Pandemic aside, obviously, not now. But what has the New York music scene been like for you? How would you describe it?
It is an incredible community of musicians and just wonderful creative people by large. I say oftentimes we celebrate the geniuses of the past, like Nat King Cole. You mentioned Ella Fitzgerald. The pleasure that I have is I get to be around the geniuses of today. Cool. Really, really incredible musicians. And you even see it now during the pandemic. There's tons of musicians out there who are playing music. Jonathan Baptiste, Russell Hall, so many people out there being involved and bringing positivity, light, and understanding. So it's an incredible scene of wonderful people. And I'm so blessed. I say that a lot, but I'm just so blessed to be able to have these wonderful people in my life and to express music with them.
Cool.
That's beautiful. It really comes out in what you do. Keep doing it.
My
Thank
pleasure.
You.
Thank you
thanks
so
for
much.
entering the contest. It really was a thrill.
Thank you so much for having us.
You bet.
Thank you, Charles.
Rita. Yeah.
My pleasure.
Your selection of music, Rita, is really reflective of the breadth of stuff that comes to us in the Tiny Desk contest. I think more so than we've seen in the other top shelves even, and they have been wide in scope. We're going to play next this song called "Sketching in Pen" by Jose Benjamin. And what was it that attracted you to this? Other than it's a beautiful video, that's for
Uh,
certain.
it is a beautiful video. It's music at a very high level. You know, this is beautiful. I just get the sense that Jose is a consummate band leader, and it's funny you mentioned all kinds of music. Although this song and he seems to generally come from a jazz place, I imagine that this is an artist that could thrive in any genre and any setting. The video is absolutely gorgeous. I love the sentiment of the lyrics, sketching in pen. I love that sense of committing to something, you know. I'm sketching in pen. I believe in this. I believe in you, you know. Jose Benjamin, it's a gorgeous video, shot in film, in fact. So you'll get that sense as well. So I'm excited to share this with everybody. I just thought it was a lovely scene and a beautiful song, and one of those songs that doesn't fit neatly into any particular genre.
Uh-huh. And you said shot and filmed. This performance done at a painter Frank Mason's studio and apartment, right? Is it? Yeah.
Right.
So let's give a watch and a listen to Sketching in Pen.
Sketching in pen, 10 cigarettes on a Thursday. It's 4 a.m. the next week, and you think you're beautiful, and the people stare. Air comes in, but you stop singing 2 whole years ago. I remember songs about this. Look at me now, dear, tucked behind a green room with the company of an exhale, the consolation of a job well done. Another one ready to burn, a job well done. Another one ready to burn, a job well done. Another one ready to burn, a job well sketching in pen, 10 cigarettes on a Thursday. It's 4 a.m. the next week.
That's a beautiful choice, Rita.
Yeah,
Sketching and pen.
sketching and pen. And you know what I love about it, Bob? I love that it just is one of those songs that it's not a rock song, it's not a jazz thing. It's everything all at once. And what a wonderful player. Jose Benamin, he's from Venezuela, but lives in Brooklyn these days.
And the fact that there are all these paintings, I mean, that's what this music is to me. I mean, it reminds me of a painting where you could dig deep, you get an atmosphere right away, which is, when you walk in a room and see a painting right away, you get that vibe that comes off. But then you can dig in, and all the instruments are all playing such beautiful and subtle different parts. I think if I'm counted properly, I think including Jose, it was a 9-piece.
Yeah, with the piano at the center and then the strings just swelling around it. Gorgeous arrangement. Yeah, that was a great discovery for me. So I hope you all feel the same.
Let's go to our fourth song. It's a song called Onion, which the lyrics are what grabbed me here, and the voice. And you? This is by Ruby Choi.
For sure, the lyrics grabbed me, and also the video grabbed me right out of the gate, because we're watching so many videos when we're reviewing these for the contest. You don't always know an artist's backstory or even the backstory yet of the video and the song. So I just love the sparseness of the video, the 4 empty chairs suggesting where the band would be if the band could have all been in the same room. And the sentiment of the tune really grabbed me as well, Bob, peeling away the layers of an onion.
That's great. Let's give a listen and watch Onion by Ruby Choi, and then we'll bring Ruby Choi on with us.
Why'd you make me cry? I'm sorry that I cut you up, but you stabbed on my chopping board. We could have rode into the sunset on a hoverboard. Why won't you say bye? I'm sorry if I made you confused, but your nagging is getting on my nerves. Yes, I'm really done with you. I spray you with canola, can give an extra virgin. I fry you till you turn gold, only way you're sweet. I peel the layers off of you, you're trying to tear me up again. No more onions in my onion soup. Your onion through and through, your onion through and through, your onion through and through. You're on and on, and that's you. Spray you with canola, can give an extra virgin. I fry you till you turn gold, only way you're sweet. I peel the layers off of you, you're trying to tear me up love again. No more onions in my onion soup. Yeah, your onion through and through. Your onion through and through. Your onion through and through. You're on and that's you. Why'd you make me cry? I'm sorry that I cut you up, but you stabbed on my chopping board. We could have rode into the sunset on a hoverboard.
As Doug Smith said in the chat room, so tasty.
Well, when you call your song Onion, you're bound to get that. Ruby Choi is her name, and I was absolutely charmed not only by that song but by that video, Bob.
Me too. Why don't we bring Ruby in, because I'd love to talk to her about the making of that video. Welcome, Ruby Choi.
Hi, Ruby.
Hi, Rita. Hi, Bob. Thanks for having me today.
You bet. Thanks for the entry.
Yeah. So I guess the first question that comes to mind, Ruby, are you a cook?
Wow, that's actually, I'm trying my best to be, because I recently got married last year, so I'm trying to be the good cook to my husband.
That's funny.
Pandemic time, we're always home.
That's funny. But using the onion as a metaphor for a relationship, tell us what inspired the song and the lyric of the song.
So yeah, it's funny because just randomly one day I was sitting at the cafe in New York, because back then I was living in New York, and I want to just write a song about onion, because there's a sentence saying onion has so many layers, and when you put that into people, like when people have so many kind of layers, like you don't know what they think, or it's it could be different than what they're saying in the front. So it's it could be used in a good or bad situation. So I wanted to kind of use that into my song, and using a simple rhythm, simple format, but just using fun, little sarcastic lyrics to it. So make it fun.
Yes.
Yeah.
No, like that a lot.
Thank you.
And onions, like people, can make you cry.
Yeah, I know. That's why my first lyrics is, "Why'd you make me cry?"
Yeah.
Yeah. And onions, like people, you could chop them up.
Yes.
Wow. Didn't know we were going there.
Ruby, I can't help but notice it looks like you're in the same place right now for our chat that you did the video.
Yes, this is the dining area of my house in Jersey now, and we put our dining table pushed away a bit, and then we put 5 chairs in the center to the dining area, and then this is where I'm always hanging anyways, so I felt really comfortable filming it. So yeah.
Oh, it's like your favorite room in the house.
Yes.
My guess is that you didn't anticipate you'd have 4 empty chairs to make a Tiny Desk contest video. My guess is that you would have planned that you'd all be in the same room.
No, yeah. I mean, we so when I decided that I wanted to enter the contest, it was like between, where the lockdown kind of started. So I was like, what should I do? Like, oh my God. Like, because originally I was thinking, filming in New York area and where everyone can be in the same room. But when the lockdown happened, my husband and I really thought over and over again, like where we can do this in a creative, location, and also creative video production. I know like video editing and production is not the most important thing for the Tiny Desk concert or the contest, but I wanted to bring something really catchy because I knew a lot of people like around me, even musicians, are entering the contest, and I wanted to bring something more eye-catching from the video because, as Rita mentioned earlier, uh, sound matters as well, but also visual matters nowadays. So I really wanted to like focus on both sound and visual. So we thought over really a long time to come up with like putting a 5 chairs, empty chairs, and make it interesting. Like, oh, like what's gonna happen? Like no one can expect. So
Can you tell people, because we're all in this for a while now, uh, how they can make music this way? Maybe for some it's obvious, but you can't just all hop on the phone together in a chat room and start playing because the timing all doesn't work, right?
I
So could
wish.
you, yeah, right. Yeah. So the short of it is, why don't you tell people, so how did this get put together
So
without getting too deep and technical?
long story short, I'm a singer songwriter. So before the pandemic, I always got a help from my friend who's engineer. But this time for this like specific project, that I had to actually learn myself, watching YouTube videos about Logic so much. Like
Logic is a program, a music program with it you record into, for
yeah,
those folks that
so
don't know.
I learned like also I got a little help from my friend as well. But so I made the click in the Logic first to set
Meaning again, I'll just interpret, because what
the
a click is a rhythm, a pattern, like a metronome that you could sing to. So then all the other players have the same metronome click that they can play to. So you're all in time. Keep going. I'm sorry.
yes. So using that click, and also because there's a time change at the interlude at the end. Like I had to learn how to do that in the middle of the song, and then but it was really great process like that. I got to learn like how to do this everything. So I made the click first, and then I sent to the drummer. Uh, and then actually I was looking for the bassist for this project, and drummer mentioned that his roommate is a bassist. So as a drummer and bass can be, if they live together, it's easier way to record and learn the song as well. So I sent the click to drummer and the bassist first, and then they recorded first. And then when they sent me back their files for the Google Drive, I sent back to the guitarist so he can put his rhythms and first next to it, and then I sent to the keyboardist, and then we kind of added up the process. So it took a long time for me to actually finish the whole thing, and also doing the video editing as well. But it was such a great process, and I think don't hesitate if anyone wants to enter next year. Like I think don't hesitate anything, because you never know what's gonna come next to you. Like this moment for me, like dream come true moment, having an interview with Bob and Rita. So, yeah, it was great. Yeah.
Ruby, where would you guys typically play in New York? What are the venues that you've played in? And once we get through this pandemic, where might we get to see you perform live?
So for a few years, I actually focused on teaching more lessons than live. Before, so I went to Berkeley and then Manhattan School of Music in New York. So when I was more student and after graduating MSM, I really played a lot of lives in restaurants in New York City, and also like small clubs and stuff. But I I think as I was getting older, I wanted to focus on like, educating younger
Right. Oh, interesting.
kids. So I teach voice lessons and piano lessons as well. But also I do translating for side jobs right now. So yeah, I do
What sort of translating? What do you
Korean,
translate?
English.
Korean to English. Yeah.
So
And how long have you been how long have you been in the New York area?
since 2013 to 2019. So yeah, 6
Great.
7 years.
And how did you hear about the Tiny Desk contest?
Yeah, I mean, I knew about the concert and the contest for a few years ago, but for some reason, I think I was afraid to put myself out there for, I don't know, like there's nothing to lose, but I think I was afraid about something. So I was hesitated, but then this year really, because, when you watch the Tiny Desk concert, like when you're a musician, especially like you imagine yourself like, oh, like, what could it be if I can, play there at Bob's desk? Like, that really pushed me to, enter this contest, and, everything was great and worked out, and here I am.
Here you are. That's wonderful.
And it's also important, and I really appreciate you saying that. The importance of just doing it is you don't know what's going to happen, and the worst that can happen is you have a song of yours marked in time that you can share with your friends, but it also helps advance and I don't know. There's something very special about
Definitely.
just doing it rather than thinking, "Oh, I'm not going to win."
Especially like this, like today, I realized, like really it's important to trust your gut and just do it, and then things will happen, follow up, like, and you never know. So
Awesome.
That's a great message to put out there. Thank you, Ruby.
thank you guys. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, thank you. Keep up the great work.
Lovely to meet you. Bye bye.
Yeah, it's such an important thing. Like, I mean, you get 6,000 entries and there's one winner, and you think, oh, why? I'm not going to win. But then so many different things happen. We've been doing Top Shelf now. This is our 7th episode. And so there's now been 35 videos we've put out into the world. We have blog posts that you can go online and see. And so you can look at these videos and you see thousands of people have watched these videos that are not necessarily people who won or are going to win the contest. But if you didn't do it, nobody would have seen it. Nobody would have heard it. And you just never know what's going to happen. There are many people who have played the Tiny Desk who didn't turn out to be winners. There are many people who got interest from record labels or music venues because they saw the video. So many things happen. So look, next year's another year. We look forward to more entries and having these entries. But I think, Ruby's a good example of encouraging all of us to make stuff. And now's the time to make stuff too. Like you don't have to wait for a contest, but just find time and advance and find your inner soul, right?
Right. I talk to a lot of artists, as you do, Bob, and it's been interesting to see the well springs of creativity that are coming out of the pandemic. And I think we're going to see, from our point of view, from the place you and I live, we're going to see a lot of beautiful art coming out of this, not just music, but art and film. And, I think that's going to be a silver lining to all of this.
Well put. Well put. For those who don't know, these conversations have happened every Thursday. This is our 7th week. We have one more week next week. They're at 3:00 in the afternoon on Thursdays Eastern Time. Kevin Cole is going to join us from KEXP next week. It's been
He's my hair opposite. See, I have very little hair. So next week we got to have Kevin Cole with his long, luxurious locks. That'll be beautiful.
Maybe he can let you borrow some.
Yes, exactly.
And so We have judges, Brittany Howard and Quinn Christopherson and others. We're going to soon choose the winner of the Tiny Desk contest. If you missed this or you want to turn your friends on to what this conversation that Rita and I had so you can watch these other videos, we will put this episode as well as all the others are online to watch. So, hey, we all have a little bit of time here and there. It's a great rabbit hole to go down. If you just want to start watching Tiny Desk contest videos, npr.org/Tiny Desk contest is a great way. It's the rabbit hole that you've been looking for.
The musical rabbit hole. That's very well put.
It's really been beautiful. Thanks for doing this and being part of it. We have one more, though, a contest video to play for you by Dirty Bird, who I've seen their videos each year. I think this is their 4th year of entering the Tiny Desk contest, Rita.
They're such a great fun band, and they actually played Tiny Desk with Sister Sparrow. So they were actually at your desk backing up Sister Sparrow, another great local New York City band. But I love the sounds of Dirty Bird. I love this tune. I think it'll be a perfect way for us to go out here today, Bob.
Thank you, Rita. Wishes
My
with
pleasure.
You.
Thank you.
I love you.
Great to be here. Big love.
Take care. Let's go out on Dangerous Dark by Dirty Bird.
One, two, three, four, five. Build me something beautiful. I will live there in my sleep. In this room of make-believe, are there treasures I can keep? Let me tell you all I know from all I saw. Through the walls, you'll sing me your song. Devotion is a haunting chase. Lock the doors to keep yourself safe. Delusion is a finer trait. Behold the inescapable fate. Without you, I was falling dust, severed and untouched, trying my best to walk it off. Build me something beautiful. I will tear down. Counting doors like I'm counting sheep. Is there some place you